where each one of you are working in whatever capacity you're working, or you're a parent, or however your shape is today here in this room. You are working that if I can harness today in the best possible way, it becomes part of that person's tomorrow. And that's why it's so incredibly important to stay in the moment. And to know that children, most of us are here because of children. Children are not worried about what grades they're going to get in 12th grade. They are not worried about who they're going to marry one day. They're not worried about what job they're going to do one day. Maybe when they're in high school, upper years, yes. What they're worried about is getting through today. And most of us here are concerned with kids who have some form of learning need. And that learning need is what we want to address. And to know that learning and behavior, social ability, emotional ability, all depend on development. It's been an amazing journey for me to follow, especially mental health, and to look at all the new movement that's coming out in mental health, and looking at the research on the body and the influence of the body on mental health. And so right now I'm investigating what is the developmental piece of somebody with bipolar disorder? What is the developmental piece of somebody with a social anxiety disorder? And that's sort of my next little line of inquiry for myself. Because I'm so more convinced today, because of the research and the science out there, that we are all looking at what could we prevent now that doesn't have to be for me as an adult. Looking at bullying is pretty complicated in many regards, because you would want to say to yourself, now who would want to really bully someone? And who would really want to be the victim of any bullying, right? It's not a want situation, it's a need situation. And it's the need we have to figure out. The need of this kind of behavior, the origin of what that is. So anybody can be a target. It could be, you could be the new kid on the block, you could be the one that is not the smartest kid in the room, you could be the one that's the most overweight, you could be the one that wears glasses. There is no research common denominator about who could be a target. Could be anybody. So this makes it harder to identify that kid is going to be prone to become a victim, right? Because it really sometimes happens with no real rhyme or reason. But the reasons why many kids won't tell that they are being bullied, number one is shame. They are ashamed of being bullied, feeling like maybe they are worthy of being bullied. They are also afraid what's going to happen if the other kids find out that they told on them, right? That's another big one. And also many times they will report in the research that they don't think anybody's really going to help them. That's a shame on us, right? They don't trust that they're going to be heard or listened to and be adhered to. But many of them also believe that the adults may be a part of that lie. Okay. Now, of course, other kinds of bullying that can go into sexual misconduct and those kind of things is also, it's a secret, right? It's a secret we have to keep. But also the fear that the adult will take the bully's side. So the warning signs, if somebody's being bullied, is this whole list. I don't have to read it with you, but it is really kids who suddenly drop out of higher grades, kids who suddenly don't partake in sports that they used to partake before, or they are taking a different route to school that they didn't take before. Things like, you're going to watch at what are differences in patterns. You must look at that. If there is clothing that's missing, and the parent is like, where's that shirt I gave you, right? I mean, I just bought it to you a month ago and it's already gone, right? Oh yeah, it's gone. Right? Something happened to that shirt. There's these, but of course they happen in clusters, right? It's not always the case. But those are the kind of things that you would look at. Kids who want to excuse themselves from the classroom the whole time. I have a stomach ache, I have a headache, I have this, I have that, right? Look at those as risk factors. Of course, we're back to the word compassion, right? And the difference between empathy and sympathy that we already talked about this morning, and that we want to create. It's not about solving the situation between the two parties, it's about creating a we. Creating a sense of, we can do this together, right? And why does it work? Because you would say, why would a bully want to have a we? Because the bully is just as vulnerable as the bully. Because you don't become a bully if something else didn't happen in your life, right? And so that's what you're banking on, is that the bully is just as much in need of compassion as is the bullied. And so that's when people go into the judgment of the situation, and you go into negative consequences, and those negative consequences become the biggest way of dealing with it, the whole situation is not resolved. Content in the bully, according to the research from Barbara Clarossa, it's not about, we always think it's maybe about anger or it's about wanting conflict. It's not the reason that they found in research, okay? It was about power and not feeling powerful enough, and felt like the bully felt like somebody was in disdain of them. Right? That was the biggest piece that they found in the research.